This is a quick video on just some stuff that I've been doing, so they get an idea. I did the do-it-yourself valve to replace, instead of buying these $15 ones, I can get ones for like $10 with brass parts that's actually going to work better. HPA valves I'm talking about. So what we got here is basically an SLP rig. Okay, my original thing that I bought was this Vulcan coiled line. Okay, and it came with an end on it that would plug directly into this valve, and then it had the other end on here, quick disconnect. So I wanted a way to disconnect this off my rig without screwing it fast. And the problem with the Vulcan valves, it's a pass-through because there's no way to stop this. This has a check valve in it so it doesn't let the air out. And so what I did is I went to AIRLINE, and I'll put a link for all the parts that I've used so that you can find them. And I got this male end, screwed it on, put a little Teflon tape on it, which I'm going to zoom in a little bit in case that is not clear. Put a little Teflon tape on it, and I screwed this one fast, and that worked as a quick disconnect. But this, you'd have to turn the valve off every time you were disconnecting the mag. And what I wanted to use this coiled line for was for my pistol. So what I got was, and I've got the bags right here so we can see it, it's a female pipe coupling. So I took the original coupler off here, and I put this brass coupler on here, and a quick Foster quick disconnect from Airsoft on the other end. Now granted, it does add a little distance on it here, but it does stop the air. Now I originally bought this line for $20, $19.95, and then I realized after I had bought it that I already had one with the same configuration. It had another, it wasn't a Vulcan, it was a RAP 4. So I had the same thing. On this end was the valve, the RAP 4 valve. So I put, again, another male fitting Foster end from Airsoft, and another coupler and a quick disconnect. Now I have my two lines. Now originally I was just going to run this on my own SLP rig, but I only had one fitting on there, and I could put another fitting on my existing rig and run it that way. But I thought, I'm going to leave that one by itself. It's a single rig. I ain't going to run a pistol off it, because the dual pistol rig, which I had in mind, the FPS or the PSI would be the same for the two pistols that I want to run to get 350 FPS or so out of them with .25s. So what I did is I bought all the parts here for an SLP rig. I already had the Vulcan shutoff valve for on top of the air tank. I bought the regulator itself, the pressure gauge, and I bought the quick disconnect on this side. So now I have a double disconnect on this. So the line I had bought was $20, okay, and the parts that I bought to put this together was another $40. So for $60 I put together this rig, okay, with the valve, the little coupler here, the little pipe here, the quick disconnect, the valve, and the actual regulator itself. Now buying the other unit with the couplers and the whole 9 yards, and I actually added an elbow on this side, which I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Alright, I put an elbow on here with another quick disconnect, so it comes right out of the back of the regulator, and it goes either way. Now if you've noticed your own regulator, if you've never seen one of these before, on each one of the things there's a supply line, which is the one that comes from the tank, and then there's three that say out. Okay, normally that's the one for your quick disconnect or direct in your line. One is for a regulator, and it comes with a plug for the back. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to have the 2 lines so I could run this out. And I'll show you an example of what it will look like with the 2 lines on it. You would put 1 line here on this side, and you would put 1 line on this side coming out. And then you would set the PSI, and it would give to both sides. Now granted, if you alternate shots, it should be fast enough to keep up with it for a pistol. And the reason for the 45 on the back here, and I'll show you this, is instead of mounting it like this, so this is against my back, I'm going to mount it this way so the 2 lines are out. I have a horizontal bag for this that the regulator does stick out of the top. So instead of having this stick out and maybe get shot by a BB, I'm actually going to face it in toward my back. So set the pressure, have it set, put this in, be able to turn the valve on, have a tournament lock on this so it doesn't move. And then the 2 lines, flexible lines, would come out of here, and this would be hanging down, ready to go into my pistols. Okay, so that's the setup I want to have on this. Now, I've shown this before, and if I haven't, this is the do-it-yourself HPA tap valve for a Wii style threaded pistol. Now, finer thread pistols, I don't know what adapter to get or anything like that, and I'm really not worrying about it. This is an amped male, but it's a threaded, and this is a coupler. This is a reducer that reduces to this smaller thread that threads into a pistol mag. Now here's a Wii mag right here that I have one of the valves in. Okay, and the whole idea behind this is I have several mags done up. The rig has the 2 lines plugged into it, like so. And this is going down to a pistol, which I then have. Now, because it's on a flexible line, the distance here doesn't really matter, because this will be hanging down when I'm shooting. This comes down around my back. I'm able to shoot so that when I switch out mags and I loosen this up, alright, I can quick this, put the new mag on in the gun, we're ready to fire again. Okay, I wanted to be able to disconnect the mag if I had to put the new mag on and go from there. Alright, and basically doing this on the opposite side as well, I would have 2 pistols on either side shooting with the 2 flexible lines. And the coil lines, they give me some stretch and movement in case I put my arm out or if I kept it in tight. So that was the whole idea behind that. So I can list all the parts for this if people are interested in them, but you could do a do-it-yourself rig and set up like this. Amp Airsoft parts, they are phenomenal about parts and stuff. So if anybody has any questions, please leave me a message and I'll try to help you out. Thanks for watching. What the fuck was that?